On top of that, the factual timeline is completely being ignored. Yes, I was in New York for 3 days. I called every day. I came back. I only mentioned Argentina because he wouldn't leave me alone. He kept saying, why? Let's get back together, blah, blah, blah. So I told him I was moving to Argentina, so he'd shut the hell up. He shouldn't be used against me. I never even looked into the place. Uh, October of 2014, after we went to the fair and had a great summer, I knew how to interact with my children appropriately. I wanted to date somebody exclusively. He cut me off of my children. I did not see them again until January of the following year when he came to help me because his nephew wouldn't leave my house. My nephew. And then I went to his house on Nathan's birthday after I turned him down on Valentine's Day. And Jessica couldn't walk, and she had smile written on her freaking pants. These were warning signs, especially my daughter told me I abandoned her. She'd never said that to me before. She knew it wasn't true. Okay, February 2015, Angel Lynn is posting on the timeline supporting Eric. All of a sudden, she disappears. Easter of that year, my son reaches out to me and tries to get help, and I don't know what happens by the time I get there. Probably Colton tipped him off. I submitted complete divorce papers October 2015, and 8 days later, Colton was charged with a felony. I thought that was felony witness intimidation. Apparently, I'm wrong. If your dad is a drunk former firefighter, there's no such thing as witness intimidation. So months, the summer of 2015, after not being able to see my kids since October the previous year, I waited until July of that month before I went to his apartment after he got a restraining order saying I was schizophrenic, which was proven not true. I have never, ever been diagnosed schizophrenic, and he knew it. Even though he lied from the get-go, there's been no repercussions against him. What the hell is that? Then I've had my expired IDs in the same place for a decade. Suddenly they're gone, but the only one that returns is the one that looks like freaking Angel Lynn. Angel Lynn disappears, except she talks to Colton behind the scenes, telling him she's going to move to Spanaway after living in Morton for 14 years. She's so obsessed with Amber that she buys clothes for this child for years when the child lives in another state, is a stepchild. She swears she has custody, buys clothes, and tells everybody about this imaginary child. I didn't take her kids. I didn't keep her from her kids. She was the 20-year-old loser who couldn't parent her children and have them taken from her. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't Eric's fault. I don't owe her a child. I don't owe her years of being alienated from my kid to make up for her and Richard. My child didn't cower in terror in my presence like Richard did in hers. That's why they took away her rights. It wasn't because of me, because every time that child saw her, he regressed into a traumatic former shell of himself, and I don't blame him. I understand it, because the fight or flight, and right now, if I see that woman, I would rather rip her face off than turn into a bundle of freaking blah, 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 blah. But that's what I'd want to do. That's what I want to do. That's who she is. That's what she does to people. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pierce County, for having nothing but Facebook posts that were submitted. They weren't served to me, for one. So I couldn't respond to them, because obviously I would have after I actually received them. They're ridiculous. They're not labeled. There's no dates. There's no significance as to what each post means. This is ridiculous. In my counseling, I'm told it's not my fault. They want to make sure they reiterate to me, no survivor's guilt. It's not my fault. And then I am tortured, taking my kids. I can't even talk to them on the fucking phone. because to torture me and say, get over it, get better. What am I doing wrong besides I don't go to sleep when they want me to? I listen to more music than they expect. I thought that's my freaking right as a grown American adult. What the hell is going on when you start telling people what the hell time they have to go to bed and what kind of music they have and I said, tell me, how many freaking hours a day do I have to watch TV? What time do I have to go to bed, Dad? Tell me that instead of continuing to accuse me of shit that's not true. And like that, you accuse me of all this crap, but does anybody come over and verify, right? Does anybody come over and see my whorehouse of fucking freaky deakies? No. Does anybody come over and see my drug den of whores? No. They just sit back and laugh it up while my children are tortured and raped.